show you like the format I use. Is super easy. But I'll stop recording this now.
Sorry, you're all quiet again.
Yeah, you are quiet.
Can I say? I mean, actually.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to share this link, guys. Shall I send it on the WPD group, or shall I just send it to you individually so you've got it on your individual chat?
Nah, WPD group's fine.
Is that all right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's on there. Let me know if it makes sense. There.
No, it's still the same.
Why is this such a penis?
So quiet.
I think you're even quieter than last time.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Fuck! I might just put it on my laptop now.
I do like the hair though. Your hair is awesome.
It's very it reminds me of what's her face? Is it Erin O'Connor from the Eurythmics?
Who's that?
What are you on about? Annie Lennox?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's that? Sorry, you need to sort your sound out, mate.
I know. I don't know why it's doing this. It's weird. Fucking thing.
I've not made any effort all day. I've decided not to wear makeup anymore. By the way, I just don't.
I'm sorry, Debs. I know you're trying to be serious, but I'm just looking at Sara's login name, Tig Old Biddies, and it's taken me that long to work out what that
was on their last. That was on their last time, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna move over to my phone.
That's cool. That's right. I'm not trying to be serious, by the way, Romano. I'm just talking shit. I feel so much better not wearing makeup.
I very rarely wear it, apart from when I'm going to be on a podcast where everyone else will see my face.
I know, but I don't.
I've got a jewel. Look at this.
I can see, and you're getting the waxery.
And like
the neck veins. It's coming. You are looking.
Feels quite nice.
It does, doesn't it? You know, when you get to that stage, you're like, ooh, that's why I feel good, because my skin's all good. Like, obviously, I've lost my little tubby. I looked at some videos I uploaded back in February, obviously, a bit before I started my prep. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, my face looks massive. Like, massive. I don't know if I've gone so skeletal here.
Yeah, I think
what?
It's the flip.
That's better.
Yeah!
That's better. You got some banging lighting as well.
The ruby target is here, by the way.
Oh, hey, Booble. I've shut my
eyes because we've been walking around town. Yeah. Mucky.
It's muggy here as well. It's horrible.
Yeah.
The other day I was walking and I just said that. I don't know if I told you guys, I inhaled a fly.
Just extra protein.
It was, well, I
did you adjust your macros?
It literally, I was leaving a voice note and I was like, and inhaled it, and I actually thought I was going to die. I had to pause the voice note and get rid of the fly in so many nice terms, but horrible. I actually thought I was going to die. I was like, this fly's not taking my life. I've dieted too hard. I'm not choking off a fly. Yeah, they're hard to get out. They like stick. They stick in there. It's 8.
8. Wow.
We've done 8 episodes now. And the thing is, we've caught up now because we had those in the bank. So these are relatively new. So when we release them, like this will be next week now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all done. The other one's scheduled for today, obviously at 5. I've moved it to 5 now because I know you guys kept it at 5. So I was like, fuck it, I'll move it to 5.
Yes. That would be so much fun.
Can they chair it? Because that would be fun if they chair it, and then we can just
dick about.
Yes.
And Ruby can. I've forgotten which one's which with his dogs. Ruby can talk to his Frenchie.
A Mastiff, isn't it? Is Dan McNabb you're talking about?
Is it? Is it that or? I don't know. Is it Cane Corso? Yeah. One of my mates down here's got one. It's huge. It's quite fun watching Ruby play with him.
They're very beautiful. But I think we'll all get on because we've all got that same sort of sense of humour / no filter. and no shit's given. So I think it would be fun.
Yeah. Bigger women.
Oh my god, Romano, it does not matter.
It fucking matter. It does fucking matter. I'm 36. I'm not a girl. I'm a fucking woman.
Right, let's gloss over that. So yeah, we'll do five top tips of bigger women, ladies, maybe girls that are 17, 16, 17, but anyone that encompasses within the female gender.
With a vagine, or identifies as having a vagine, whether they have a vagine or not a vagine.
Yes. We're overcomplicating it.
We're just being inclusatory. Is that a word?
Inclusive, yes.
For the record, just to bring some context to my space cadetness today, somebody woke me up at 5 to 5. 5 to 5. Huh? No, she wanted a shit. So at least with a wee, I can just open the back door and stand there in my PJs. Like, for a shit, I have to actually get dressed because she legs it to the furthest point in the garden.
They do it on purpose, though. I didn't listen to the rest of your voice note, but I've said that mine wake me up, and it's always at the point where you've got a sleep in, or you have to be up early, and they're like, I'm going to keep you awake, I'm going to wake you up super early. Really?
Because I've got a communal garden, I couldn't just leave it and pick it up later. Because I'd never find it.
You could have done. You could have let
It's
some
a fox. It's a fox.
Yeah, you could have let some poor bastard tread in it and be like, oh, my dog doesn't, that's not my dog's poo. It's shaped differently.
It's Brian next door's. I can't remember if you've met Brian yet.
Is this a person or a dog?
Dog.
Okay, I thought it was an actual person. That's why
he's a sausage dog with serious anger management problems.
Why?
Yeah.
They are nippy.
And he'll proper lunge at me and Rubes. Quite fun.
Oh. Do you tell it, you're like, back off, Brian? Do you shout?
No, but if he does it, I was walking her before I went to work, and he was like doing loops. I came across them in the park, and he was running around my legs, and I was like, if he fucking bites me, I'm going to drop kick him. He's bit me before. I went down to say hello to him, and he drew tiny little bit of blood.
It'd fly off like a little football, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
The noise. Yesterday we obviously meant to do that podcast, weren't we? I was saying this to Roman in a voice note, and we agreed that you've got that like a conserved bit of energy where you can kind of bring it. I just didn't have it yesterday. I literally felt like crying all day yesterday. I did my leg session, and it was awful. It was so bad, and I felt like I've let myself down. I've let Tom down. You know when you just get those days, and I just felt like absolute crap. And I felt like, even thinking of it now, I felt like crying. I was like, it was a really shit day. I still did everything, but it just felt shit. But I
so it's not shit then, is it?
What's that, sorry?
If you did everything, it's not shit.
No, I agree. But you know in your head when you feel like you...
Oh, yeah. What I'm getting at is it's like you're being hard on yourself. Because at the end of the day, how many calories are you on now?
I think we're amending now. So Tom will send. So I've got like the baseline one on the app, and then he'll send me like
2,000.
I'm probably about 11 on one day and 12 on another.
So you've been in a deficit for a prolonged period of time, and you're just starting to have shit days 3 weeks out. That's fucking smashing it. That's what I'm getting at. It's like if you're feeling like that yesterday, but you still managed to get everything done, then you won. So it wasn't a shit day. You just felt like shit, but the day itself wasn't shit.
That's a good way of thinking about it, to be honest.
Up here for thinking, down there for dancing.
Yeah, but that's why I've got you. That's why I've got you guys.
I'm expecting you all to write this down and then talk me through it all when I'm in prep.
Honestly, like I said, that's why I've got you guys behind me. I'm so grateful. But when you guys are on prep and I'm there, fat little tub, I'm going to be backing you and like getting on your back. Like, right, you got to do this. But because that's what you do for each other, isn't it? So, but yeah, it was just shit. It was a shit day. In general, I'm doing really good. Like 3 weeks out, I'm feeling fucking awesome. I feel like I'm the best I've ever looked, and I feel the best. And I've not put any physique updates on Instagram for ages. All the stuff I'm uploading at the minute sounds really bad. It's all from like about a week and a half ago. So it's not my current look, if that makes sense. So I, Mhm. Yeah. It does, and that's what I've said to Tom. I was like, oh, if it's cool, can I just keep? And you guys have said as well. Can I said I'll still update people like tomorrow when I do my weekly check in. I do it every a few times a week. But when I do my weekly check in, I'll be like, I'll upload something, but it won't be a full physique update. It will just be keeping people in the loop. But I feel so much better for it. Even going to the gyms, I'm like covering up in the gyms at the minute because I just feel like I can focus better, not keep looking at myself all the time and like
And it
constantly.
also it stops people, and I suppose this leads on to what we're going to be talking about on this podcast. It's you need to be in the zone and be able to focus during your workout, and you can't do that if every other person is commenting on what you look like. And yeah, it might well be positive and it might well be like encouraging, but it's still breaking up that focus within your workout.
Yeah,
And that's
100%. I agree with that.
and that you'll have your heart rate up, you'll be sort of finished your set, catching your breath. Your rest time's now completely fucked
Mm.
because Karen wants to have a chat about you're so lucky to be that lean.
Yeah, yeah. Or they'll yeah.
Yeah.
And do you find as well when you're doing cardio, people automatically think because you're doing cardio, it's easy, and they can just come up and talk to you. I'm like, no, I'm still working as hard here as I am
I
lifting the weights.
I don't mind being talked to whilst I'm doing cardio because I actually find it helps my heart rate raise because you're talking whilst you're blowing. So,
Mm.
and I don't mind that. And I find it goes quicker as well. So you're all out there, come and chat away to me when I'm doing cardio. That's fine. That might change if I'm like 2 weeks out.
That's what I mean when when you're knackered and you're just there,
Yeah.
like you're feeling every bit of it, and someone's like, "Ooh, well," and they're not just like saying, "Oh, hi, how are you?" They're asking you really intricate details about your diet, your cardio, your steps, how many times are you shitting, how many times are you going to the wall.
I had one particular mate, bless him, he through the my last prep, he'd come up and tell me every single change that had been added to his bulking diet. And I just remember I was like, dude, just don't. Just
Were you like,
just
I
don't.
don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, I think my calories have dropped to like 1,500 briefly. And yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I've had another bump today. Oh, it's so hard. And it's like, yeah, bulking is hard. But when you're in a sustained calorie deficit, the last thing you want to do is hear about somebody's bulking diet.
I've been given an extra bagel. Oh, the humanity.
Although the only thing I'm craving on this mini cut, for some bizarre reason, well, I know why the reason is. It's because of a conversation I had. But I'm desperate for a peanut butter and jam sandwich, toasted sandwich.
Oh man, I could kill for some of that right now.
It's something I'd never normally eat, but for some reason, this last week, it's all I've been fixating on, and it's the first thing I'm going to have when Tom calls time on the mini cut. Mm. Yes.
Mm. But that's what I was saying to you before. You almost get like because you're so in tune with eating like that food regularly. If you smell or you can almost taste food through smelling. Like if my mum's eating something, she'll be eating like I don't know. The other day she had like an Arctic roll with some like berries on it and ice cream and shit. And I was like, so let me smell it. So I smell it, and I can almost taste it. I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. I'll pass on that one.
Yeah,
But
so I didn't drink coffee for 36 years until my last prep.
I don't know
Yeah.
how you did that. That is nuts.
It was, I dragged myself. So my show day protocol was like 50 ml of coffee. So like an espresso. Um, I can't remember if it was with every meal, but there was definitely about 3 of them in the morning. And in Poland, I was a bit like, oh, just knocking it back. And then for some reason in Budapest, it just stuck. I
But
think
you
that
had.
was with every meal. That was 50 meals of coffee.
Mm, mm,
I think,
coffee,
yeah,
right.
I've never really had a drying out phase like that. But then I don't know if that's the difference between peaking a figure athlete and peaking a physique athlete.
I had. I was gonna say I had sorry for figuring thing. I had vitamin C and caffeine. I constantly use it. It does work. It helps a lot.
But I had it for 2020, but then I was never told for my last 2 shows to take vitamin C in peak week or drink coffee in peak week.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Mm. Yeah, she's looking sick. She's looking sick. Mm. Mm. Is it Sunday? This one this week. Okay. How
I'm
quickly
just
have you?
thinking about doubling my caffeine intake. My head would explode.
I'm
I already have
really
so much caffeine.
hypo. I said I'm really hyposensitive, so I don't know if Tom's gonna have to just. I can just drink it and drink it and drink it and drink it, and it won't touch me. Like I don't even know how much I can see, but I mean, water. I'm drinking about 6 liters a day now, as it is, plus coffee. What's that? Sorry. I think Tom said around five. He's given me five, but I that's just out of choice. That's just how much I drink. I can't stop. I'm literally. I go through like one of these. I go through about four of those. I'll have a pint of water in the morning. I'll have like, coffee on top of that as well. So and I'm constantly peeing, but I just can't stop. If I don't have water, I just feel like I'm gonna like shrivel up into like a little raisin.
I just,
Um,
I just spilled my coffee all over the floor. That's what that face was for.
that's
Right.
typical. That's Romana. That's typical Romana.
2 secs.
How
You like how fucking clumsy I am.
too clumsy? How are things with you? Sorry. What's that noise? It's cutting out. Yeah, it's cutting out your audio, Sarah. I couldn't hear you. Is that the squirter? Oh yeah, it's it's always
Other stain
Romana.
removal products are available.
It's always Romana kicking the microphone, knocking stuff over, spraying things. Yeah, that's a lot. Mhm.
Yeah.
You start when I compete. How quickly are these weeks going by? They're just flying, man, aren't they? I get panicky though because now I'm like, shit, I'm 3 weeks out. Am I going to look any better? Am I going to look any better? Oh, good, good.
Still mini cutting. I'm expecting a bit of a big old drop. Actually, I feel like I can see it. Um, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
and my face. Um, I think part of it was those 2 night shifts I did at the beginning of the week. I was up at 9:30 on Monday, and I didn't go to sleep until 7 a.m. I then slept for 6 hours, and I was up from like 12:30 until 7 a.m. again. Well, no, it's got, yeah, 7 a.m., something like that. So you're awake for so long, you're moving a lot more than you would. It's like with you and your shifts. And I've had to go down a uniform size because the size I was wearing just made me look like I was wearing, like I was a child wearing an adult uniform. So yeah, and I got the most exciting part of my week is I got my program through from Dan. So I've done legs, legs, glute, ham focus, and back yesterday. Legs, glute, ham was Tuesday, and then I've got legs, quad focus today. So it's really cool, but it's really difficult to get my head around as well because I've gone from being, pardon. Yeah, well, considering I've gone from doing like 3 to 4 working sets to like a working top set and a back off, that's quite a dramatic drop in volume for me. I was saying to Debs yesterday, I've had to like, for my own head, I've had to write down my feeder set to make it look like, to trick my mind into thinking I've still done a lot of work because obviously it's like what I'm finding is my top set is obviously I can go a lot heavier because I've got the strength and the energy and the reserves to do it. But it's just getting my head around it. Change. I'm not good with change, but I know it's what I want to do. So I've got to just suck it up, buttercup, and adjust my mindset to adapt to the training style. But things like I haven't done for years, lying dumbbell ham curls, and my hammies are still, I can still feel it a little bit today.
Nice.
Which is really because I struggle with lying ham curl because I get really bad lower back pump.
Yeah, me too. Me
And
too. I
actually, it
feel
was
you.
like when I saw it on the program, I was just like, okay, trusting the process, do it. And I was like, fuck,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. You saw it. You saw me on my Instagram.
That's me.
Yeah, it's all about me.
But
Yeah, so
that's good though.
that's been my week. I've got check in with Tom on Sunday. He wants me to hit. Well, what he said last weekend is we're aiming because obviously last weekend was the adaptation from could this be a prep to this is actually just a mini cut because I'm still not going to compete this year. We're going to go back to that plan of just growing. So that was that abduction, and he took away 70 grams of oats, and then he was like, "Yeah, we'll aim for about 160 pounds for this mini cut, and sort of reassess from there." I don't think I'm going to be far off 160. I don't know. Well, maybe it might be a bit optimistic, but it feels like a hell of a lot's dropped off.
You can see it. You can see it already. Like in your face, your arms, like everything's coming in. Oh, very nicely. Mm.
Yeah,
I can see the pain in Romana's eyes when you said removing 70 grams of oats. It just went all shiny.
he took my joy. My joy.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, so generally the first day shift or the first day of a run of nights, I'll try and sleep as long as I can, wake up, and sometimes I won't eat. My first meal will be when I get to the gym and train, and it will be my pre. Sometimes I will have a meal, but generally I'll try not to eat as much as I can during the daylight hours, and save my food for when I'm at work, especially like on a mini diet, because obviously I've got to concentrate and food helps me stay awake without like, but then again, it's some nights come 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't want to eat anymore. Um, so that's when I really have to like force the food in on off season. But yeah, so pre-workout, train, I'll try and stave off having my post until I'm at work if I can, but it just depends how like ravenous I am. And then yeah, I'll eat sort of every 2 to 3 hours through the night. And again, probably finish eating around 3 o'clock in the morning, and then straight into bed and won't eat again until my pre for training the next day.
Do you find like in the early hours when you're eating certain meals, do you find it like more like they sit like they make you feel fuller and like sit in you, or do you find you process them fine like you do any other meal any other time?
I can't say I've noticed, but then I was sort of having this conversation when Dan Bastick and I were talking through my training, because I don't know if he'd worked with somebody with such crazy shifts. I don't know. But I was sort of saying the way I explained it was for either of you two to go and start working a rotating 12-hour shift pattern, including nights, late shifts, and early mornings. You fucking feel it. I've been doing it for nearly 20 years. It's all my body knows. And yeah, it's not natural for my body, or it's not natural for a body, but for my body, it's kind of normal.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's that I've got that tolerance of being able to do it. So yeah, if I'm hungry at like 5 a.m., I can eat. And then sometimes you'll get like tired nausea. So I got into bed Tuesday morning and I literally had that like runny mouth salivating nausea. I could actually start throwing up if I let myself. And I literally had to lie there and kind of swallow it down and like just go to sleep. And that will happen. Luckily, it happened when I was in bed. That happens sometimes at the tail end of a shift, and it's just horrible. It's just horrible.
It's the worst feeling, isn't it? I'd rather just be sick. I was saying this to you, I'd rather just be sick. I can't stand the feeling of feeling sick.
You're just so tired. But what I'll generally do, like, I'll train legs the first day of a run of nights, and then like I find back and push less mentally taxing. So I'll leave those sessions for in between my nights. And then I'll either have a rest day coming off of nights, or like the way Dan split my program now is chest and delts are separate. So I then so it might be shoulders, back, chest, so that I'm not, because trying to do a leg session in between nights.
Horrendous, I bet.
I have done it and I can do it, but it's not fun. And then if I'm on a 12-hour day, I'll just use that as a rest day. No, I think it's 6. Hang on a minute. Yeah, I could do. It's something I hadn't thought of. But then the way I get round it in off season is on days off and day shifts, I'll set an alarm for 1 a.m. and I'll eat a meal at 1 a.m. and go back to sleep.
But that works for you though, right? If that works
it works really well because I'm not so full during the day that I'm like can't move around. And then it just means I just feel it digests better.
Me? Oh, sorry, I was Spacey then.
There was towards the end of the last push, I just felt like things were stagnating a bit, and Tom recommended some digestive enzymes, so I've started taking that. I don't get any from I suppose I get I get reflux from the shift work I do, acid reflux, which I take omeprazole for anyway. But that got worse towards the end, and it will get worse when I'm on nights as well. It's just one of those things. But pardon? I've had it probably the last 10 years. Yeah, it's yeah. I'm quite lucky, really. People get like lots of shift workers will have like IBS effectively from shift work. I mean, without too much detail, like, some people are really fucking regular. They could tell the time. I can't. It's just whenever it fucking happens. And cortisol and yeah, everything. It's something really interesting that I found out about cortisol, and a lot of shift workers having that kind of rift sort of fat
Yeah.
deposit. And it's because when you're in that heightened state of alert and your cortisol levels are up here, that fight or flight mechanism, your body will draw fat to protect your organs where there isn't any bone.
Yeah.
So those shift workers, they're trying to protect their guts with body fat because they're just on that heightened state of alert all the time.
But I think it's sorry. I think it's good how you've got that, and you've learned obviously, like those risks are there, and that's what like the position you can't get out of it. So the ways you manage that with obviously like your training, like your expenditure, like keep yourself active, and do you use like any like certain supplementations, use like digestive enzymes or anything like that to keep you like what do you do there?
So yeah, I've got digestive enzyme at the moment that I just have. In fact, here's one. Oh, no, it's my nighttime ones.
Sorry to
That one.
interrupt you, Sarah. I was just trying to while I can think of things.
I have one of these. My old
Yeah, I've
lady
got one of
gossip box.
those. I've got those.
So yeah, digestive enzymes. I don't really take anything to mitigate shift work other than melatonin, and I'll take a Phenergan.
Finnegan,
Yeah,
so good.
yeah. It's an antihistamine that you can buy over the counter that is really good for helping you sleep. I think it's
Romana
travel
saved
sickness
me.
as well. You can use it for. Sorry.
Romana saved me. You saved me, didn't you? I went and bought. I've been having sleepless nights. Sorry to go out of that. Really, really bad. Waking up every hour of the night and then getting up at 4. I went down to the chemist last night and bought some. I took one and I had a really good night's sleep. So
When I listened to your voice message and you were like, "Yeah, I took one," I was like, "Holy fuck!" I meant to tell you to take half because like
it says
half's all
one.
you need. I'm
It
surprised you
says
woke
1
up.
to 2. It says 1 to 2. They're
Yeah,
25
but they're
milligrams.
really strong. They're really strong.
Oh, that one was good enough for me. I'll be taking another one of those bad boys tonight.
Yeah, it's it's my lifesaver. It's what keeps me asleep on nights,
Really good.
and
Really,
it's
really good.
yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think, like I was saying to you two, like that the day in the life that we did, I probably chose the wrong days to do it on because I was so tired. I just couldn't think creatively enough for the content for the day in the life. But
I
like
thought it
this
was quite good.
morning,
I thought that was quite good though, because it shows like the days where you're like proper knackered, you're still getting it done.
yeah, yeah, that's
I
true.
thought it was brilliant.
Like this morning, I've prepped what was it, 4.5 kilograms of chicken, nearly 5 kilograms of chicken. Yeah, um, and
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Hello, lower back pump. Not just to mention that, but like if you think when you're on prep, everything's so much more bony. Like when you're doing CPR, you have to kneel down. and like this was just on tarmac. This was on a pavement in the middle of a seaside town, and like my poor knees. But the thing is, all I was thinking about was like, I better not. You know, when you kneel on gravel and you can kind of scrape your knees. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
going on stage in 3 days.
I don't want
No,
to scrape
I
my
look like a
knees.
child. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I need to document that a little bit more.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe do obviously later on we could do another day in the life
Yeah,
and a bit of a switch round. So maybe
I've
you could
got a
do
late shift next week, Wednesday, so maybe that would be a good day for me because then I'm not so knackered I can't do it. And
yeah,
it's off. No, that's a day or a night shift will be 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. or 7 p.m. till 7 a.m. Late shifts are normally ones I do on overtime, and I can kind of pick the hours. So I think I'm doing 12 till 10 that day, so we're quite reasonable. But sometimes it's 6 till 2, sometimes it's 4 till midnight. It just depends.
I got to nip out and just go to the toilet quickly. I've drunk too much.
Oh damn it! You beat me to it. I need the loo too. Talk amongst ourselves. Um, sorry. Yeah, we should all have just done the generic woman thing and gone to the loo together, even though we're in separate places. Just left the chairs. Here you go, Reeves. You're running the show. She's so tired. So I went and got my extensions put back in, um, and she comes to the hairdressers with me. So we walk through town because where it's been so hot, she hasn't had a walk properly for a good few days. Sunday was the last time she had a proper walk. So yeah, took her to town with me. Yeah, yeah. No, no, she loves walking through town. She loves it. She loves all the smells and the people. Yeah, I think that was a bit too ambitious, a bit too hot. Um, but yeah, if you and Leets come down one day in July, um, and we go for a walk, I'll take a backpack. So if we want to go for a decent walk, because there's a couple of really cool places we could go, and I'll just whack her in a backpack. Yeah. Oh yeah, we haven't. Have we really spoken about that on here? No. Yeah. So I have got, for those that, yeah, as part of my qualification as a paramedic, I can obviously gain intravenous access and draw bloods. So I've been trying to get in with blood draws for quite a while, and messaged Eval, and after a short phone call with Dave Crossland, he's offered me work. So I've set up my Google Calendar, and you can now book through the Eval website, the Exeter Clinic, which is me, and you'll come here. So yeah, it's bloods, bloodletting. I also have the ability to give IVs as well. They have to be like bought and organised in advance. Um, yeah, yeah. So I think I need to speak to him properly about that. I think it's one of the, maybe I have to buy in the IVs and then advertise them, but I'm not sure. I'm seeing him hopefully next weekend, so I can clarify that side of things. So yeah, but it's exciting. It's something I'm really passionate about, is like the health promotion side of bodybuilding, because I find it incredibly frustrating the NHS's sort of nonchalance with wanting to assist bodybuilders when, if you're, it sounds really horrible, but if you're an alcoholic, if you're diabetic, like type 2 diabetes arguably is self-inflicted. I know that's like taking it down to the bare bones, but it's a dietary and social choice, the choices that you make, that can end up giving you type 2 diabetes, unlike type 1 diabetes, which you can't, that's a, you can't, there's nothing you do in your life will impact and create type 1 diabetes. You either have it or you don't. but with type 2, it can be more of a sort of social and economic inheritant disease. But they'll obviously do your bloods and that sort of thing. But if you're a bodybuilder concerned about your bloods from steroid use, then no, you have to pay privately. You can't have that done through the NHS. And it's a bit of a, I can see both sides of it. I can see the like, well, that's got a financial implication upon the NHS, but at the same time, these people are going and wanting help and wanting to make sure that they're healthy to prevent long-term health issues that may be more of a strain on the NHS than that one blood test that they're requesting. I don't know. It's a bit. Mm, yeah, and that I can see the argument with that if there's a way of maintaining health that might put people off. If they're like, oh well, actually, I can monitor my health. I'm that was my one reservation. I'm now going to go and start using. But then it's like people don't necessarily. I don't know. I've got to be a bit careful with how I phrase this, rather than put my foot in it. But it's like the help is there for an alcoholic or somebody that's addicted to heroin. The help is there. Does that mean more people are going to go and get addicted to drugs and alcohol?
Yeah.
There's this big thing within the NHS where we almost feel we're responsible for the nation's health, where actually the individual is responsible for their health and what they do with their body. And I think anyone that is being responsible enough to go, right, I'm using A, I need to make sure that everything's okay so I can carry on doing that. And I just think it's a sensible thing to do. It's socially acceptable. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's Well,
Exactly.
I suppose put it this way: it's 100 quid, whatever, for a blood test. Life gets a lot more expensive when you're off work, long-term sick, because you've got to have a kidney transplant.
Yeah.
I don't know about like other people out there, but my work will only pay me full pay if I'm off sick for 6 months. After that, it drops to half pay, and that's only because I've been in the NHS for so long. If I'd been in 5 years, I'd only get 5 months full pay. It's a month for every year of service up to 6 months. Yeah. So that's the sort of perspective we're dealing with, like kidney, liver, and that's before you start even going into the cardiac issues that can be involved. It's something I should know more about, and I don't, but I know the sort of. Sorry, she's making some serious noises. I don't know if you can hear her.
Little snort.
Booze, worst. Unfortunately, I'd say steroids second because of the long term health complications, and then weed last, in my opinion.
I
Um,
agree on that.
mainly because out of my 20 years in the ambulance service, I've probably been to a handful of 999 calls because somebody's stoned. And they're generally 20-year-olds at uni who've smoked their first spliff and fucking whiteyed. Like, they're pretty damn harmless. Booze, probably 80% of my work in London was alcohol related, and not just alcohol addiction. I'm talking weekend partiers. I'm talking may have even just gone out that one night that month and happened to get smacked in the face by somebody. Drink driving. Then you've got your entrenched alcoholism. Yeah, it's
This is what annoys me when people bang on about, oh, you know, using assistant steroids. But if you come to terms with, like, we know the risks, we know what we're putting ourselves through, we look after ourselves as much as we can, and that's like self-inflicted. That's only on us. We're not affecting anyone else. Yet, you know, smoking and alcohol, like drinking alcohol, that's socially acceptable. That's done every single weekend. That has a direct impact on everyone around you, the NHS, you know, the police. It racks up bills when they get into fights, people puking everywhere. You know, the amount of it's just like a cumulative sort of
it's
thing.
poison.
It is, and that causes so many issues, and it's a waste of money. People get far more illnesses, and there's far more deaths from alcoholism than there is from steroid usage. And the fact that like steroids are so taboo, but alcohol's like, wow, yeah, look, that person's
And
wasted.
ultimately, you can do a jab of steroids. You can inject, take them, whatever. You can go to work and be a fully functioning member of society.
Yeah.
You drink 4 cans, you can't go to work.
No.
What can you contribute to society? Like, if you can't. I know, like, I suppose I've sort of made the leap into alcoholism again, but do you see what I mean? It's like it's not the same. It's not altering your mind in the same way. Some people may argue it does, but
I think there's that difference again, isn't it, from using and abusing on
yeah.
both sides of that. So you've got
I
social
need to pee. I really need to pee.
That's right. So you've got both sides of that, haven't you? So if you're using it, if you're just going out for a drink every now and then, fine. If you're like, you know, we only use stuff when, you know, predominantly we're in prep, we only use certain things, and we in off season we tend to just use food, right? We push there, so we are very much conscious of that. Whereas with people that go every single weekend drinking, then that's followed by a ton of shit food. They're out of like commission, those people, for 2 or 3 days, depending on how bad the hangover is. And then sometimes they even drink more the next day to sort of rid, you know, what they've got wrong with them. And it's just kind of like, you know, yeah. Mm, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you don't care what you drink then, because you've got
Your
this
inhibitions are lowered.
your perception's gone, isn't it? You can't make any logical calls anymore because you're like,
And
oh
I
yeah,
think that's an important part to take from it as well. It's like you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position. Like,
mm,
by being intoxicated, you have got lower inhibitions. You have got less self-awareness, less surrounding awareness. It does make you vulnerable.
yeah. Sure.
I'd say THC is, I mean, to put it in perspective, my dad's got Parkinson's, and it was quite difficult when he was, well, to start off with, he didn't get diagnosed for years, and when he eventually did get diagnosed, I remember the first time I saw him, it had been quite a while. He'd lost a lot of weight. they get like a frozen face. So his facial expressions were gone. He was really struggling communicating. It would take him like 5 minutes to say 3 words. Eating a meal, we'd all be finished, and an hour later, he's still like really slowly. And he was a very quick-witted man. Um, and probably about 18 months ago now. No, it must have been before that because it was before lockdown, or was it during lockdown? I don't know. The last 2 years are like a blur. Doesn't matter. He got introduced to THC, and I've got my dad back.
That's
He's like
amazing.
he's still like mobility wise, as far as like limbs, he still shuffles. He's still got his tremor, but he's got his facial expressions back. He's got the patter of his speech back. He's quick witted again because he can communicate. He can eat at a reasonable amount of time. So it's like, I don't know. I just think it's got so many positive properties.
That's awesome. That's brilliant. I didn't know that.
Mm. So THC is like I it's more psychogenic. Psychogenic? That's not even the word. Psychoactive, or whatever. It's the bit that gets you high. Yeah. Mm. I did use like because you can get CBD oil from like Holland and Barrett and stuff like that, which I'm not convinced is necessarily the best. But actually, for my 2020 prep, obviously it was the end of lockdown. Like I think the world felt anxious, like just this low level anxiety, and obviously being on prep and the stress and the anxiety gets personified. So I ended up using it's a company over in Bournemouth at the gym I used to go to over there. One of them started up this CBD company, and it was like it seemed to actually work and sort of calm that anxiety without any sort of mental effects. Yeah. Mm. Yeah.
My brother
Yeah.
has that because he owns his own vape shop and he makes all his own liquids and stuff. And he's like, "Oh, you should do CBD like vaping." I'm like, "No, no," because I just don't like anything to do with smoking. I just don't like it. But he's got he makes his own CBD coffee now, which is actually that was quite nice. And then he had these. This was about I think it was last year, a CBD cookie. So I ate the CBD cookie and I nearly threw up. It just tastes like burnt shit. I was like, that is the most disgusting thing I've ever put in my mouth. I was like, horrible. It was horrible. I don't know if it was a bad cookie out of the batch, but it was vile. But the coffee was nice, but the cookie was not nice at all. Almost ruined cookies for me. Gone out the window.
Cookies are dead to me.
Cookies are dead to me. I love cookies. I'm a massive cookie fiend.
Should we lighten the tone slightly because I feel like that was quite heavy.
Yes. What were we going to talk about, Sara? You're chairing it today, aren't you? What was the topic we were going to do today? That's brilliant. Yes. Yeah,
I was just like, do you know what though? It was like, what are we going to talk about? And all I saw was that and big old titties.
yeah, titties.
Titties. What are we going to talk about? Titties. Which actually are. What we're going to talk about? And I'll say, yeah, I'll link the titties in. Titties on the fucking T-bar row. This is like,
But that's the problem. If you have the fake boobies, because even coming on that, having a sports massage done, especially when you're lean body fat, because I can see everything now. It looks like I've got a fucking stuffed orange under my skin now.
Yeah.
And you're being pushed down when you're having a back massage, and it feels like they're going like being pushed apart like this. So I'm like, wait a minute, I have to push them back in, and then it's just so, because you've got no fat there anymore. You're just like, oh god, it's like painful. He's like, oh, it's like hurting on your back. I was like, nah, it's my tit. I was like,
See, I'm not as well endowed as Deb, so I don't suffer with that problem so much. But yeah, it's more like chest supported anything.
it
Just
does
like,
hurt though,
get
doesn't
out
it?
the way.
Comfortable.
But they do end up like lacrosse balls in socks by the end of prep.
Yeah, that's literally what. Yeah, like an orange in a sock or something. Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
I'm not
yours
gonna
are orange. Yours are more melons in a sock. Mine are lacrosse balls.
You'll see them on stage when I've got my varnish on. You'll see them protruding, and you'll be like, "Oh my god!"
I get
Sorry
like
for the-
puckering as well.
Yeah, I've got that little rippling going on.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah. You bend down to put your sock on when you're butt naked, and you get a glance.
They're
at your
swinging.
tit. Yeah. It does hurt. It's because you're lifting heavy shit. What's
got some-
another one? Oh, it's horrible. Do you get angry as well? Do you get all hot and flustered? And you're like,
Well, it's like it's not just sports bras. It's anything that has to go over your head. I was getting ready for a date and I was trying things on. And I had to, this was a little while ago, I had to wear the dress I put on because I could not get it off again. And I was running out of time and I was just getting hot and sweaty. And I was just like, fuck this. It's this or nothing.
Have you tried that? So you try it over your head, doesn't go on. Then you try and put it on over your legs, doesn't go on. So I've just gone to open back dresses and a zip dress.
But then
I can't.
you've got a mum to help zip you in.
Oh no, but she's so short. I have to like kneel down and have her like pull it off me because she's too
Is not
short
any
to-
good at doing zips up.
You could teach her to grab on with her teeth and pull. But no, do you know what I've done before with zips? Because Mum's not been here. Because sometimes she's not here at the same time.
Coat hangers.
Is no, I've literally gone out on this. I've gone out and I've gone up to some random person. I'm like, right, who can I find? And I've left it unzipped with a jacket open. I'm like, excuse me, can you zip up my dress for me, please? I've gone out and got someone to do it for me. Like, oh,
That's amazing.
I swear down, I've done that, and I will always do that. But I can't wear a normal bra. I haven't worn a normal bra in about 2-3 years. It digs in your boobs, especially if you've got fake boobs. It digs in those, and your back. My God, it
I'm
ends
trying to
up
find a bra that fits your fake boobs and your back.
it's impossible.
Yeah. Sports bras all the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't happen.
Just don't. Like, that's why I end up wearing dresses because it's just easier. Because I
Well, it's
find
like-
also if I do get jeans that fit my legs, whenever you bend your knees, it's like you get a full on calf pump.
Yeah, because it's cutting the circulation.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just not comfortable.
Do you know what the problem is as well? Certain shops, when they, because obviously I used to do modelling, when they have fitting models, they'll have like a size 10 that they think's a size 10, but that could actually be a size 8 or a size 12.
We've
So
got no hope, have we?
they,
Realistically.
yeah, and they do it as well. So they're like, right, if that person's a size 12 or 14, 16, 18, whatever, it's like that all the way down. So like my back comes up as a 16 sometimes. My waist is something like an 8. And then I'm like a 14. I'm like, we're all over the place, though, aren't we? So we can't find something that fits. You have to like then pull it in with a belt. You have to do random shit to it. I'm like, oh, I can't be arsed. I just go around in leggings all the time.
Yeah, that's why I live in gym gear.
Mm. Like,
And then like even your biceps or your forearms, it's like it's sprayed on.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because I was a normal sized person and then I became a bodybuilder. And unfortunately, I do not have thousands of pounds to redo my wardrobe every time I do a mini cut or an off season.
You can get those fit jeans, can't you? I've never bought them, but they're they're over £100 each. What? Sorry, they're called fit jeans, and they're made for people of our sort of stature. But I've not tried them. But I mean, normally girls wearing them have got really big bums, and I'm like, is it just for girls with really, really big bums and nothing else? I don't know. I ain't saying no, because I'd like a big old booty, but
Yeah.
might be worth time.
Bras. Clothes.
Chafing. Hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, that
Oh.
sounds gnarly. I've got some powder that I wore. Like I last off season was the first time I experienced proper chafing, and I've got this powder. I'll take a picture of it for you. And anyone that's watching this interested, you literally get it. It's kind of like talcum powder, but better. And you rub it on your thighs, and it makes them super smooth. It lasts all day, and it won't no chafing.
I've only had chafing once. Bad. Well, I don't seem to get it too bad if I'm wearing leggings. It's more if I'm wearing dresses. Sorry?
Yeah. When it's skin to skin contact, like dresses or
Yeah.
shorts or something.
That's got to be hot.
I was gonna say.
Because you work in a fridge.
Do you feel almost like naked, or like you're gonna? Yeah. That's fair enough. It's like a set, like your setup, isn't it?
It's weird how we get these little things, isn't it?
Hmm.
Like, I can't stand, like, I couldn't train in this because I
No, me
can't
too.
stand anything.
On you, you feel claustrophobic, don't you?
And when it gets soggy, oh, yeah,
Is it
I
like
can't stand.
moist?
That's why I'll train in leggings and a sports bra because I just can't stand anything touching my skin that's wet and clammy.
Yeah, it's not nice. I know when I come home from cardio and steps, I got my vest on, I take it off, and I've got my t-shirt on underneath, and it's literally like the majority of like my tracksuit bottoms have like literally like I peed myself. Then that's all wet, and you peel it off, and you're like, ugh, you
Yeah,
can't
no,
you can't take it off.
that to me is like, oh, she's gone. Oh,
There she is.
that to me is like eyeballs to you.
Is it actually?
Mm.
Okay, we'll keep that at bay then for you. If you keep
It's
the
all right.
eyes at bay.
I look at people and I'm like, that's got to be horrible. How can you do that? But I don't get freaked out with other people. It's only if it's touching me.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
I am. Yeah, I would say because I'm on Tinder, and I've actually had to put. Did you just call me a slag?
I thought you said me. I was like, no, I didn't say that.
I've actually had to put a disclaimer on my profile, which is like, no, I will not throw you around. No, I will not arm wrestle you. No, I will not wank you off with my biceps. Those are the sorts of things I've been asked. Pegging as well.
That's
Will
what they
you
send
peg
you,
me?
though.
Sorry?
That's the first thing they send you, though, because I remember years and years ago when I was on Tinder, and that's the first thing they send you.
Yeah.
And you're like, how the fuck does that even work?
Yeah. Do you get much success with that?
Mm.
But yeah, part of it is like, I still want to feel feminine. So in my head, to feel feminine, I need a man that's like bigger than me.
Yeah.
And it's not even about that person being muscular. It's just about feeling petite, which is strange because we spend so much of our time trying to make ourselves bigger.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna go through my dating life, but the people that I have dated previously met me at a bodybuilding gym. You know, the deal. And as soon as you start getting a bit bigger, oh, but don't get any bigger there. And I'm like, who the fuck do you think you are telling me? If you don't like it, go and find someone else. Why are you dating a bodybuilder? Like, why are you doing that? But at the minute, like obviously I'm on prep. I don't want to be in a relationship with anything or anyone at the minute. Like all I can focus on is myself. But even now, I'm getting messages from people asking me for my number, people doing this. I'm like, are you like nuts? I'm like 3 weeks out from a show. Do you think dating's the last thing in my mind?
Let me guess, the people that are messaging you aren't bodybuilders and have never done a prep.
Well, they're really sorry if this offends anyone, but they're bodybuilders. But no, not in the terms of a competitive bodybuilder that understands how drained you get of energy towards the end.
That's what. Like, have they done a prep?
No, and that's the thing that I people say to me, "Oh, you've only dated bodybuilders." And I said the reason being is that what you just said there, Iman, is about them. They have to be like, we're quite big. It just feels weird if they're not. And B, it's the fact of understanding what it is that we're doing, because you can't. I think as well, you can't rightly ask someone to change their life for you, and they can't. And same for you. Like, you have to find someone that integrates in with your lifestyle, that understands you, and it's not going to get shitty if you're at the gym for hours. It's not going to get shitty that you don't want to have sex for fucking the last few weeks of prep. Do you know what I mean? Like, who the hell? No one's got energy for that shit in the last few weeks. And I'm sorry if there's like people watching this, but it's true, isn't it? You don't have any drive whatsoever.
I've been dieting 3 weeks, and it's not even a proper prep. And I'm like, libido's out the window.
Though, are you? You're not interested. And I've
my libido goes, so I'm just like, nah.
And I've been in relationships where people have like, and I've spoken to you about this, haven't I? That are just, I want this now. I want to have sex now. I'm like, well, you can't fucking have it. It's a two-way street. Like, and that's another problem as well. People that even do understand don't understand.
Yeah, I think it's when you're out of a prep as well. It's different. It's easy to forget what it's like when you're in the depths of it.
Yeah. Sorry, I just went on a complete rant there, but fuck it.
I just get things like, oh, got some muscle on you, haven't you? Oh, no shit, Sherlock. And got some spots on you, but I'm not fucking pointing that out. Yeah. All you got to do is put some skimpy little trunks on and a tan.
And have someone like...
It's not even about just the cost, is it? It's like you're depleted to fuck and you sit there with somebody painting your face. And like, the last thing I want is to be touched. I don't like being touched in the best of times, let alone like one of the women at work. She's a hugger. And she'll literally just come up and rub her shoulder against my shoulder. And she's like, that's your version of a hug. I don't like being touched. They're having this woman painting my face when all I want to do is go and smash a McDonald's.
And then they're trying to make really like in-depth conversation. You're sat there like, just fucking do my face and just like, it's almost
you can't even distract yourself with your phone because you've got your eyes shut.
You're trying to get a bit of shut eye before you're on stage. You're like, just paint. But it's true though, it's costly, isn't it? And then sometimes, I mean, I'll just get mine shellacked now because I can't be asked with the talons. But you got people that get their eyelashes done, their nails done, their toenails done, some hair
Vajazzle.
Vajazzling, maybe chuck a merkin in there.
Spoiler alert, Sara's pro debut, she's going to have flame emojis coming from her vajazzle.
And a merkin, right? You're going to get a merkin. And you can get braids down the side, really bring some controversy.
Oh, like Smack the Pony. That you two are probably both too young to remember.
What's that?
Smack the Pony?
Yeah, we'll Smack the Pony.
Right. Thank me later. Go and look it up on YouTube after this, especially the episode where they basically dreadlock their pubes. It was three comedians comedians or whatever, 3 women comedians, back in, must have been late 90s, early 2000s, just did this comedy sketch show, and it was just silly. And like one of the end sketches was them, like they're singing or something like that, and like being all like this, and it just pans away from them, and all 3 of them are stood there swinging their pubes that have been braided, something like that. Yeah.
You wouldn't be allowed to do that now, would you?
Why not?
Well, because everything's censored, isn't it?
Fun police.
Mm.
The
They
what?
did, didn't they? Yeah, they used to be pretty violent, didn't they?
And racist.
Yeah.
Racist.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you got to splash out on your bikini there, haven't you?
And you can never sell it for the same amount that you bought it for.
No. The thing is,
Or
people
even
take the
half.
mick as well when they're trying to buy them. They're like, "Oh, I'll give you 50 quid." You're like, "Yeah, that cost me 400 quid. It's been worn once. Like, you can have it for like half price or something." Do you know what I mean? Like, you can get them cleaned and stuff, but
I wanted to do that with my
yeah.
pro day, like my pro win one, but unfortunately I was so skint that I had to sell it. I said to the woman, I was like, if you ever want to sell it, I'll buy it back off you. I might ask her actually. I might message her and be like, I haven't seen you wear that in any of your stage photos. Can I have it back, please?
It's mine. It's mine.
50 quid. I need to pee again. I'm old.
We got any? I'm gonna have to shoot off in a minute because I've got to go out and get some steppy steps done before I get my clients. That's all right. Have we got any other ones? The constant. What about? I know it's always covered, but what about the "don't get any bigger" comment? Fucking hell, man. But it's like you don't. If that was our concern, not to get any bigger, we would all have not progressed to where we are now. I just don't understand. It's like we said before, we wouldn't. I know we spoke about it in a podcast previously, but you wouldn't say to someone, "Don't get any skinnier, don't get any fatter." I don't understand why it's so acceptable for and someone to give their opinion when it's not asked for as well. Hmm. I mean, people are going to
What
look,
can I say?
right?
I stopped traffic.
But people are going to look. People are going to look, and you know we're all different. People do look at you all the time, and I think that's the thing. That's fine. Obviously, that's the thing that we accept because some people are looking, thinking, "Jesus Christ!" Like, and other people are looking, "Oh, I don't like the look at that," and that's fine. But don't throw your comments and opinion out there when they're not needed. Like, I don't go up to random people when they're going around shopping. They're fucking going down the ice cream aisle and they're picking up a tub of ice cream. I go, don't eat all of that tub of ice cream, mine. Just a few scoops. You don't want
Or
to get
I
too
don't think you need that.
Oh yeah, look at their belly up and down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you could just stand there and be
no.
like,
Imagine,
or
but
like,
imagine.
if you can't fit your arms around them, they shouldn't be allowed ice cream.
Oh, the ice cream gauge is like, how am I allowed ice cream today? Get a randomer to hug you. If they can't, no. Romana's new gauge of ice cream eating.
I suppose though it doesn't. Thinking about it, it doesn't really just apply to us, to the muscular sort of women, does it? It's like I know probably some really thin women get it as well, but you can't say it when it's somebody that's really fat.
Well, my sister does get it actually because she does fashion, not so much anymore, but she does fashion modeling and acting, and she gets people come up to her and they're like, "Do you know what? Like, you should really eat." She said to me the other day, she went on a job, and they're like, "Oh, you should really eat something. You know, that's so unhealthy." And she kid you not, when she was telling me this, the woman that was doing her hair and makeup I can't remember what it was, but she had these like boxes of chocolates. This woman was very overweight, stuffing her face with chocolate, literally chocolates, and telling my sister that she should eat more because she's unhealthy. And my sister just snaps and she goes, "Says the woman who's got a handful of chocolates and stuffing them into her face." And she got really upset. She goes, "You shouldn't say stuff like that." But my sister was like, "Well, why are you allowed to say it to me? How come you can say it to me and I can't say it to you?" And she left the job. She was that pissed off. She left the job.
I had
So they do get it.
I joined a new GP practice up in London, and I went for that welcome to the practice thing. And this was 2011, so I was like a size 8. All I did was run, and the nurse did the usual like blood pressure, then went on to do my BMI, and she was like, "Oh, your BMI is showing you as overweight. You might want to think about increasing the amount of times you exercise." And I was like, "I run 5 times a week." And I'm sat there looking at this woman whose bottom was enveloping the stool that she was sat on. Like literally, it was like, you have your own gravitational pull and you're lecturing me, a size 8, and telling me I'm overweight. Like, what? Oh god, yeah.
But I mean, she could use her common sense and look at you and think this person's got an athletic physique. They obviously take care of themselves. Fuck what the BMI says. That's only relevant for people that are more towards the scale of being morbidly obese and like more predisposed to sort of chronic disease. You can look at someone that's athletic or in good shape and think, yeah, like our BMIs, even in prep, are going to be off the chart because for our height and our gender, we don't fit into the parameters of being that type of person in that parameter of a BMI, do we? We're going to be tipping over massively. Yeah. And you can't, the thing is as well, you can't by any means take, again, not being prejudiced, you can't take advice from someone that is physically, like, you can visibly see it, that they're unhealthy and have them give you advice. I think that's so hypocritical. I mean, if you're going to preach health, you need to be in some type of stance where you know what you're talking about, you look like you look after yourself. And I think that boils down to, again, things with like coaching. Like, you wouldn't take advice off a coach that's not in shape, never been in shape, doesn't really understand it. You wouldn't want to, would you? You want someone that knows what they're talking about and preaches exactly that, don't you? So yeah, it's not needed, is it? It's really not needed. The opinions that people dish out.
Don't be a dick. It's not that hard.
Mm. Yeah. Mm. On point, 100. No, no, we're not shaming anyone. We're literally
No.
just, the thing is, I think, and that's a really good point. I think we actually get a lot more shit and stick for just because people look at you, think, oh, they're because we look strong, they're like, oh, we can batter them more with comments, we can do this, we can do that. We're still human beings at the end of the day, and it's all a choice, but it doesn't mean because we look a certain way that you can lend your opinion when it's not asked for. Like, we don't shame anyone else. Like, we don't do that to people that are on the slightly slimmer side, the slightly larger side. That's their choice, and we always say that everything in life you do is a choice. You're disciplined to being underweight, you're disciplined to being overweight, you're disciplined to be a bodybuilder. Everyone's got a choice to way they want to look, basically, haven't they?
It's just that whole mentality of if you're on the fringe of society, you're kind of ostracized and not
Exactly.
liked.
Yeah.
Like, oh, do you remember those kids that got killed because they were goths?
Yeah.
Yeah,
A long
it
time
was
ago,
quite a
wasn't
long time ago. It was the anniversary. Sadly, I can't remember her name. Like literally, they were killed because they were goths. It's
it's nuts, isn't it? It's
mind
nuts. And the
blowing.
thing is, I think it's so nice. Like, we've all found each other because even though we've been doing it quite a while, I felt like a lot of the time I had no one supporting me, because a lot of the girls, the women that I know, they see, I'm doing it. A lot of the women that I know don't really, they're not, they bodybuild, but they're not the size that I am or aspire to be. Whereas you guys are, and you understand, we understand each other, which I think is so nice. And it's like, we're discussing things between us that we've all experienced. Like Rachel Daniels was saying, that we're like, oh shit, that person's experienced that as well, and it's nice. It's a community.
It's that safety and familiarity and relatability.
Yeah.
Like we look at each other and see ourselves, whereas there's not many people in my gym. Like there's probably one other woman in my gym that I look at and I'm like, you're the same as, we're similar. Whereas a lot of the other women are bikini athletes, which is absolutely fine. But the things like they're feeling like your head's going to explode when you bend over because you're so full of food. I don't know if that's relatable to them. Getting out of breath walking up a hill because, again, you're so full of food, or you're so fat. Not fat, but you know what I mean? Like you're so heavy.
You've got a lot of mass. You're holding a lot of mass, yeah.
Yeah. The pushing the food.
That's all right. We'll finish it up there. Right.
Yeah. We got our serious on.
We did. Bam. Oh, yeah.
I thought
There is one coming out today, but it
or
will
last
be
week,
done by the
as
time
this
people
will
watch
be.
this, they would have seen it.
I'm so confused.
Well, by the time people watch this one, they would have watched last week, so this is on next week. But yeah, you got it.
She's so warm.
Right, I'll stop this now. Thanks very much, everyone, for watching, and I'll see y'all next week.
Laters.
Peace out.